suffocates, whisper in the hall, where justice wears a mask and truth begins to fall. Every thread they pull, every lie they weave, in the courtroom's dance, who's left to believe? Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight. A photograph fades where the truth once stood, blurred lines between the bad and the good. The scales they tilt with every silver tongue, while the broken cry for a song unsung. Black robes sway like shadows on the wall, one wrong word and the mighty fall. Who's a sinner? Who's a saint? The jury's out, but the verdict's faint. Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight.
Well, hello there, one and all. What? Everybody can hear me? Why am I frozen? I'm frozen. I'm not moving. Well, okay, welcome to Devil's Advocates, everybody. I'm not sure why. Let me do this. Why is my camera not working? All right, well, hang on just a second. I'm going to go ahead and bring to the bring to the stage the man of the hour, and then I'm gonna come. Oh wow! Wait a minute. You know what? Hang on a second. I'm gonna bring you up so that I can leave and then come back. Okay? So because there we go. I have to go unfreeze myself. How are
Hello.
you tonight, sir?
Yeah, you're frozen.
Yes, I am very frozen. So
All right. Hi,
I'm gonna.
denizens, meatballs, everyone. What are you gonna come back out and come in or?
Yeah, I'll bring everybody up and then
Okay.
I'll have to leave. But yeah. So but welcome
Welcome,
on in
everyone.
everyone. Yeah. Let me bring Hello, how are you tonight, Sir Dago?
Forget about it. Good evening. How are you? Good to see you.
Yes.
Are you able to
Even though
move
I'm
now?
frozen.
No, you're
No,
frozen.
she's
Okay.
frozen. Yeah.
Well, it's good to see
Yeah.
you. One, Robin.
Yep.
Good evening. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for having me again.
Of course. Let me bring up Logan. There she
Hello,
is.
Frozenos.
Frozen
Hello, governors.
Frozen.
How is everybody today?
Logan.
We're all right. How
Logan.
about you?
Excellent.
I'm glad you're not frozen.
Nope, it's Friday, Junior. I am not in a frozen shock phase, but you are.
Yes, I am.
You're also not clad in black either.
I'm not.
No.
You are.
Slightly.
Yeah, you are.
You're frozen in time. Maybe you can. That's a cool
Yeah.
ability.
Yep. Let me bring up the man of the hour. Everyone is waiting to see Sir Lee. There
Holy
he
snap.
is.
Hello.
What's up?
Good evening.
Hey,
There he is.
I was like, yeah. So I have the bushy eyebrows. I guess somebody had the frozen shock face. Somebody else had the clad in black, and I guess I have the bushy eyebrows.
At least we
I'll
truly
do that.
are. There's the thing. It's true. There's some truth there.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys?
Good to see
How
you
you
tonight,
doing?
sir.
Yeah, I don't know how well this is going to work. I am on the road, on vacation / working, boots on the ground kind of stuff, and the internet connection is pretty bad. So I'll let you guys talk more than me, and we'll see what I can sneak in tonight.
Sounds
All
like a
right.
plan.
I guess
Jewel
I'll start
said-
us in.
Jewel
Okay,
said
go
1-1 is hoodie guy.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
it. There he is.
I'm hoodie
You got it
guy.
all covered, all the bases. Good job, Jules.
All right, Robin.
Am I-
I'll take us
I'm
in.
actually moving now. Yay.
Yes, you are.
nice.
Good to go. Good to go, Robin.
We're good to go. Read us in,
Okay.
1-1.
All right.
G2G.
Is it good to be alive in the den on a
Always.
Thursday night? Today's Thursday, right? Yeah.
It
Yep,
is.
yep.
Friday Junior.
Lose track of the days. Love you, Juliana, Jackson. Hope you're feeling better. And of course, my beautiful wife. Love you guys. Take a moment not to react, not to decide, just to sit with what doesn't feel right. This is Devil's Advocates, a space where certainty is treated with suspicion and easy answers are rarely trusted. Tonight, the conversation drifts back to Idaho, to a house that went quiet far too early, and 4 lives that became evidence instead of memories. The Idaho 4 case didn't explode all at once. It settled in slowly, through timelines that seem complete until you look at them sideways. Through movements that make sense on paper, but feel hollow when you imagine them unfolding in real life. Something about this case refuses to stay finished. And then there's the other fracture, not in the house, but in the system itself. Judge Kevin Mullins, a man positioned where order is supposed to hold, where decisions carry weight, where violence is meant to stop at the door, but it didn't. When a judge is killed, the damage spreads quietly. It forces an uncomfortable realization: authority doesn't equal safety, and structure doesn't guarantee control. Tonight isn't about outrage, it's about awareness, about noticing where explanations end too abruptly, where confidence feels rehearsed, where silence fills the space facts should occupy. Here, we don't chase conclusions, we slow them down. Because truth rarely arrives fully formed. It reveals itself in fragments, in pauses, in the questions people stop asking. So listen closely, not for answers, but for what lingers after them. This is Devil's Advocates, where doubt is allowed to breathe and the story is never as closed as it's presented. And with that, live from New York, it's Thursday night.
Woo woo.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So, Mr. Lee, you've been out traveling around. What say you tonight?
Letcher County is a scary place. So yeah, I went by the courthouse, Letcher County. Did some recording outside the courthouse. Went in. Also went into the sheriff's department. Kind of just getting a feel for the neighborhood, and like in Idaho, in Moscow, everything is super tight and close together in that neighborhood. Like the coroner's office, sheriff's office, the courthouse, the infamous bar where they had lunch are like all touching each other, like stone's throw away from each other. It was a little surreal walking in there, to the courthouse. Saw it, I believe the very place Kevin Mullins was shot and killed is still operational, and everybody's, doing their thing. It was very strange. but yeah, that county's a mess. Talking to locals, if you're going to know your fortitude, I think, when if something horrible happens. I'm afraid that something horrible is still going to happen in that county, and when it does, you're gonna. I guess I'm going to be tested as a man to see how much fortitude you have if somebody you just talked to or whatever, something horrible happens, and you're like, wow, like they're not fucking around in this place. So I'm terrified for people in that county, because I'm afraid that danger is just beginning for some people. So
Oh, man.
unfortunately,
That I just can't even imagine. And you're
Very
talking about
tough.
that restaurant. I was going to say if you were going to go have lunch there, but I know I wouldn't. I don't think that. Mm-mm. No,
I wouldn't do it.
no.
yeah,
So,
there was some rumors about a certain bar right across the street. As an aside, and I'm going to keep some of this to the vest, but as an aside, there's people have said that Mickey Steins had lunch with Kevin Mullins shortly before shooting him in the judge's chambers, and the bar, the place where they had lunch is right across the street. And my wife and I almost went in there and walked around in there and just kind of get a feel. But the stories that I've heard about that place makes the corner club stories pale in comparison. So you don't know that you want to walk into that place.
right.
Boy.
I mean,
So-
from what I hear, if you walk into some of these places, you don't walk back out. I can get
Right.
it.
Right. That's some of the stories I've heard. Yes, in fact, I've heard of an alleged murder that happened there with somebody close that I talked to. That they said that someone they knew was murdered there at that very bar at the back. Allegations again potentially of cover up of that murder right across the street from the courthouse. Involving potential. I don't even want to get into it right now, but it's a mess. That county's a mess. So it seems to me.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy.
It's a damn shame.
Having said that, yeah, go ahead. I can't read the text. I'm on a tiny phone.
Someone says it's DA Hultress is a member for 2 months. Says
Nice.
DA getting sick.
No, I'm not
it's
getting
his
sick.
phone.
It's a combination. It's the phone. It's the fact that I'm in an Airbnb and I've got people in the house with here that may not want to hear true crime shouting from this room because I tend to get passionate on my show. So I start raising my voice, and I'm going to have somebody go like, "What are you doing in there? What are you talking about?"
He's not in
So-
his normal studio, you guys, so he doesn't sound the same way.
Right.
Yeah. I
Well,
don't
thank you,
have my
Amanda
nice
B.
fancy mic. Yeah.
Thank you, Amanda B. Congrats.
You know
to
what's funny
whoever-
too? It's funny too, Robin. You and I both saw, and I guess sarcasm's hard to determine on a chat, but somebody was blasting me about how they're disappointed in me that I'm not more dedicated to my channel and I can't be on my own show. What disrespect I'm showing for people who watch my show because I won't even show up for my own show. And I'm like, you realize I'm literally like boots on the ground in my fucking cases trying to do some footage and stuff like that, and you're busting my balls because I'm not on my show.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
Well,
what
it
is
could be
wrong
that
with you?
most people that aren't on their show doesn't run that day. So at least the show's still running. Like, people need to shut up. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing the shit we're supposed to be doing while you're out there doing the boots on the ground investigative stuff. So, hey,
Yeah, and I super appreciate it. And to be fair, I think the person was
Yeah.
just teasing. I mean, when I read, they made comments about cutting my pay and stuff like that, and that means that they're just kind of joking around. So it probably was just joking, but it's like how many people seriously are thinking that, But anyways, no, I appreciate you guys running the show without me, and that I can step away for a day or two and not have to worry about consistency and things like that, on the show. So
I got a comment the other day where somebody said, "You think you're big shit now, huh? Because you don't even have to run your own show because you can go to Devil's Advocates now." I'm like, I still run my own show too. What are you watching? These people some of them are insane. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Really?
You just gotta
Thank
love it.
you, Amanda B. Amanda B's just like all over the place here with the gifts tonight. Thank
Yes,
you.
yeah. Thank you, Amanda.
that's funny shit. I feel bad. I feel bad about that. It is what it is.
Mm-mm.
So
I
don't
don't.
they realize that you're still on during the day, Dago? I mean,
Yeah. You stream all the time. You're always on. Yeah.
I'm always. I have. I do my show. Sometimes I run with Kim in the morning for Typically Unique. I do this in
Yeah.
the evening. Plus, I'm going to be doing another show for my channel as well on Saturday. So, like, what are you guys talking about? Come on.
Oh, yeah. So, by the way, if I can plug for a moment, so we got a big document dump and new body cam footage dump in the Pullman case, Brent Kopacka. I'll, as a teaser, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to start doing some member only lives like I did before, where I live watch with you body cam footage. The teaser that I saw was I don't know that I've seen this anywhere else so far, but they literally had officers in their cars or whatever surfing Facebook and watching videos on Facebook and YouTube or whatever while they're and you get to see their text messages, their family interactions, their Facebook pages. I'm like, holy shit, they're just showing all that wide open. Now, again, I wouldn't put that necessarily out in the public, but it's part of the public records dump that they gave me with that. I literally have unredacted shots of like, if a person were Snoopy to like, I wonder who that person's talking to right now during a standoff outside the coffee house apartments, you could kind of freeze the frame and see what they're talking about. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That would be wild. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe all the stuff that's he shared that file. Oh, but we're like, whoa, how much crap is in there?
Yeah. There's
So
there's a
to
lot.
sort through.
There's a lot, and there's some. I think there's some surprises in there to be found.
Oh, I bet.
But,
yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a little while to get through it. But
Awesome. Damn, Bianca.
Thank you, Bianca. Bianca just gifted 10 memberships, so we've got 10 new turtles.
Nice.
Turtles.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
nice,
I love all these
nice,
things.
nice.
Me and one
Cool
became
beans.
turtles last night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Cool.
In the same
Yeah.
in the same gift.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel so
I think
turtle.
wasn't I think JJ was there too, but he didn't get the gift.
Yeah.
No, he's not in the bathroom.
He's not in the bathroom. There she goes again, Amanda.
Are we having a gifting war?
Well,
I
damn.
don't know.
No,
Somebody
right
didn't
now.
tell me we're in a battle. We're in a
Yeah.
battle of gifting.
Yeah. Don't get me started.
Oh my oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I think we're getting JJ later tonight. He told me he was going to be a little late, but he should be here pretty soon too.
I just saw him in the chat. so I
Yeah,
think
someone
he's
he was in
coming.
the chat.
Yeah.
He's driving
So-
in a snowstorm. Ruh-roh.
Oh my gosh. Holy crap.
Oh my gosh, what is going on here? There we go. I don't know whose is that.
Not mine, I don't think.
It must be ours,
Yep.
I guess. Well, thank you very much, Chihuahuas in Crime. Thank you very much for the gift. We appreciate it.
Yes.
They're coming in
Chihuahuas?
fast and furious.
I know.
Chihuahuas in
Chihuahuas
crime.
in crime. I love that.
Chihuahuas.
That's
I got to
awesome.
see a
I know.
Chihuahua. Hey, Bendejo, I'm going to take you out.
I know who you are, senor.
I need to see a badass crime Chihuahua.
Yo, Taco Bell.
Yo, Carol.
The Taco Bell dog, yeah.
Yo quiero crimo.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I don't know what I was going to say. I was just going to say what I was going to ask, which I haven't, unfortunately, because I'm on the road a lot and I'm literally traveling for hours at times. I haven't been able to keep up with a lot of stuff. So I was just going to see what you guys have stumbled into in the last day or two, because I feel like I'm out of touch in some things. But
I know one had some stuff he wanted to talk
Yeah,
about.
just a point. I can show it if you want me, or
Well,
if you wanted to wait
Yeah,
for JJ.
go right ahead. You know what you're
Feel
bringing
that
up.
sauce. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Well, just it's just a further point to make out on just kind of using Sutton's own, she's kind of like contradicting herself in her own analysis. So I just wanted to show it. Pav did he mentioned it. He mentioned something about it. I don't think he showed specific. I mean, he shows like document stuff all the time. I don't think he specifically like showed anything on it, but it's all the last like big document drop. So it's from
And just
from this report. Oh, go ahead, Lee.
Oh, I was just going to say, just real quick. I mean, sometimes I like to remember that not everybody knows who everybody is in this case, right? So when you say Sutton, you should probably explain to people that who it is, just so that if they're like they don't get halfway through this and go, "Who the hell is this person we're talking about, and why is it relevant?"
Yeah, you're right. So T. Paulette Sutton. So she was the forensic specialist hired by the state, reviewing a bunch of the forensic evidence. So, the state has their people, then the defense has their people, and then they kind of, I guess they make their analysis and conclusions, and they kind of, make rebuttals back and forth at each other. So, so this was just showing her info here at the top. And then we're going to talk, I guess it's specifically talking about stain F. So stain F, this was the beer pong table. All right. So this was part of her analysis. Spatter stain F is on the edge of the west side of the table, depicted by an orange arrow. So that's just like an overall. It's again, this is all from that. I don't know what it's not the full autopsy, but autopsy type document. I don't know what we call it. But,
okay.
So this is I guess I don't know. Can't really make it big, but this is close up, more pictures of showing the table stain F you see in the top. Just so people know kind of what we're talking about here. So what is the I have a few. So let's go over, is it this? So they have some definitions here. So obviously the English language, words mean something, right? Sometimes words mean many things, but when you are talking about reports I'm pretty sure they do this in all of these kind of autopsy reports and specialized documents. When they're talking about specific kind of terms, they'll give their definition. So you may think like, oh, I know what spatter is, I know what cast off is, I know what this is, but and you may know kind of what it is, but you have to look at what is their definition. Well, how are they using it? All right. So this is just some terminology. So you see spatter stain, a blood stain resulting from an airborne blood drop created when external force is applied to liquid blood. So there's going to be force used to make that stain. That's the important thing. Okay. This is not going to be from someone running, like, just running. This isn't going to, spatter stains not from someone, blood dripping off the knife. It's very specific what you see. So that external force is applied to the liquid. That's very important. Let's see. What else do I have here? I'm gonna have to put
And just so everyone is aware, this for those who may not know, this is an adult show. We use adult words. We talk about adult situations. So if there is anything triggering about this conversation, it may not be the conversation for you. So just so everyone is aware of that. And for right now, I'll just put on, sorry if that goes over somebody's face, but just so everyone is aware that, this could be potentially triggering for some people.
And it's funny. I agree with your warning, but it's funny because I almost think that if you are into true crime and you have an issue with blood and murder, you probably need to rethink your choices in entertainment or whatever. Because I'm sorry, we're a true crime show. We're going to talk about forensics. We're going to talk about crime scenes, and it's going to include some messy details. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I know, but
I know. No, I agree. I agree with you. It's just funny sometimes. It's funny sometimes that we have to remind people that if you're listening to true crime, you're going to hear things about, you're going to hear
Right.
things about violence and murder and blood and all that other good stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's not cozy mystery. It's not murder she
Yeah.
wrote. So sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, I like Angela Lansbury though.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I do too.
that's true.
I'm just saying that ain't us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. So here's some more definitions about some stuff. Spatter pattern and spatter stain. See again, blood stain resulting from airborne blood drop created when external force is applied to liquid blood. This is another one. I'm just showing this one kind of for reference. You can see that they have a back spatter pattern, cast off. So you hear that a lot. A blood stain resulting from blood drops released from an object. So that's important. So if there's an analysis where they're talking about people fighting or there's a scuffle, and they're talking about cast off, that's what it's about. It's from an object. It wouldn't be from, someone punching someone or stuff like that. It would come from
Right. It
some
would be
kind
from
of
a weapon or.
right. So just
Okay.
so kind of people understand, can see some of the definitions. So why, let me get the right one here. Okay. So why are we talking about this? Why is this? What is the deal with this? So this was analysis from Sutton, right? So she made a correction to her prior analysis. So now we don't have they have it. Maybe we'll get it eventually. We don't have her initial report. So just like on the top, you see she requested the original evidence log, and this was done on February 10th, 2025. See, it says A stain F on the beer pong table in the living room, results corrected. So her correction was done on February 10th, 2025. Her initial report, you see on the bottom. So delete original conclusion number 6 from my original report, which we don't have. We just have her words here from August 29th, 2024. Due to erroneous DNA results for stain F on the edge of the beer pong table, the original conclusion read a single spatter stain attributed. Now, that is very important language. Again, you have to go by the definitions that they're using, okay? A single spatter stain attributed to the blood of Xana Kernodle, okay? We know that is the mistake, right? Located on the edge of the west side of the table on the second level, indicates that she sustained an injury in this area. All right. So we heard about some of this before, right? Okay.
Right.
And it says there is no physical evidence to indicate that a significant amount of bleeding occurred in this area, and it is retracted. So, yeah. So on behalf of Sutton, I watched a whole interview with her. I know she has extensive knowledge in this area, and I'm not trying to dispute that she is an expert. She clearly is. She made a mistake here with labeling it as Xana Kernodle, which we know later on we know that it's Kaylee's blood.
Right.
This is not due. I don't blame her for this mistake. This mistake is due to how really these idiots were numbering and renumbering, and she's going off of info that she was given. So it's kind of not her fault. I mean, there are probably hundreds and hundreds of items involved in this crime scene or whatever. Yeah, what would make her just assume, like, could say, well, she should have double checked, she should have made sure, but she's going by the info that she was given. So you want to jump in?
Right.
You want to say something?
Do you want to say something, Dago?
Just real quick, thank you, Cassie, for the super chat. Very generous time. God bless and appreciate it so very much. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you don't interrupt. Okay,
no,
so
that's okay.
So that was a mistake.
I've not seen
Yeah.
them pop up.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
Yeah, I think it was yellow.
I actually want to interrupt.
Oh,
You want to say something, Lee?
Yeah, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can go myself along with it was a simple mistake. And I'll tell you why.
Oh, okay.
Because if I
Yeah, yeah.
recall,
Well, right. Yeah, go ahead. Good.
we read together. If I recall, I could be wrong, but we read together. I was told that Xana's blood was on the edge of a table, and so I just wrote it that way because that's what I told it was. And it was like, you either did or you didn't test the blood. Saying that you tested the blood and it was Xana's because you were told it was Xana's blood is not a simple mistake. It sounds like complete. This is the story I was told to go with, and so I wrote it up like I was told. That's Xana's blood, so I just wrote it that way because they told me so. So I don't know that I'm as forgiving of the whole, well, she made a mistake because she was told wrong, because it was literally like, well, it's like, again, you either tested the blood or you didn't. And if you did test the blood, it either was Xana's or it was Kaylee's. You can't make that kind of mistake. I don't even know how you make that mistake.
Right.
But,
that's a good point. Thank you, Lenny Moe, so very much for the super sticker. God bless.
So just remember right here. So this is her words. This is from Sutton's original report. Okay. So a single spatter stain. Remember, I showed you what they mean by spatter. So this saying that there was an injury in that area. Okay. Now she retracts it. And let's go here.
hang on a second. Let me bring.
Go ahead.
JJ.
You want to bring up JJ?
Popped in. Yeah, let me bring
go ahead,
JJ
him
up quick. JJ,
what's up, JJ?
How are you, sir?
What's up, everybody?
Hey, JJ.
What's up, brother?
How you guys doing? What's up, denizens and meatballs and mobs?
What's up?
Good to see you.
How you doing?
Thanks for joining us.
All right. I got lucky. I dodged the snowstorm. As I got down in elevation, it turned to rain.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. So now this is one of Sutton's conclusions. Okay, so we've seen some of this before, but see what she says here. There's no physical evidence that any of the decedents were outside of their respective bedrooms after sustaining significant bloodletting injuries. The only decedent to move from the bed and or standing upright after actively bleeding was Xana Kernodle. All right. So she's there. So, any final, whatever you want to say. You want to say final kill shot, final blow, whatever. After these people received those kind of injuries, she's saying that they never left the room. Now we have this. These are comments basically, okay, about Xana being injured in proximity to this table. So Nodell, he was another forensic guy. As a single drop deposited, it cannot be determined when this drop arrived or what specific mechanism generated it. The Sutton report incorrectly reported that stain F revealed the DNA of Xana Kernodle. However, no record of the stain having been tested for source DNA was located in the provided data. No additional accompanying blood stains, patterns, or transfers from Kernodle are demonstrated in this area, so there is no data to suggest Kernodle was injured at or near this table. Sutton responds here, the incorrect DNA profile originally attributed to stain F has been corrected in the body of this amended report. The conclusion stating that the finding of Kernodle's blood on a table in the living room was the basis for my conclusion that she had suffered an injury at or near this table. Okay. My original reporting of DNA from stain F as being blood from Xana Kernodle was the result of my mistaken belief that the description of a stain is being collected from a second floor study table with whatever that, the number was an alternative description of what I refer to as the beer pong table in the living room. This error has been corrected and the conclusion drawn as a result of this error has been deleted. Now, what's interesting about her follow-up conclusion, which is why, to me, what also Pav was referencing as well, and I agree with him. So whether she did it on purpose, as Lee said, that she was did it on purpose or was an accident. She describes the initial injury. I mean, she describes the initial blood spatter, right? That's her words. Blood spatter means that there was an injury done at the table. The only difference is that now it's Kaylee's blood. It's not Xana's blood. But
which is a major problem.
Further conclusion, in her follow-up conclusion, she does not add in about that it was done by spatter and that it was, that injury. So she like very creatively leaves out now that it, now because we know it's Kaylee's blood there. Oh, it's nothing to see here. It's not a big deal, but it is a big deal because saying that
it's a huge deal.
Using her own, it's her own definite, their definition that they're agreeing to, that spatter means that it's force. Force was used to create that. So
I hope I have enough internet to be able to say my thoughts on that, because another stain on the table that was renumbered by Payne was tested by Detective was it Talbot, or who was the one that was? Anyways, and it had been renumbered, and it had Kaylee's blood on the surface of the.
That's Talbot, right? Yeah, you're right. Right.
Yeah,
and what? How do I say this without making any allegations? If one were put on their conspiracy-minded thing, it's almost as if someone wanted to dilute and water off Kaylee's blood from the top of the table and misrepresent whose blood it was on the side of the table, so it was Xana's, so that we wouldn't have any indication that Kaylee was on the second floor when it happened, which is exactly what you're saying. So when you have those two things happen, a watered down, maybe somebody thought they were hoping they were degraded enough that it wouldn't be able to be tested for Kaylee, and then a spot that was told, hey, that's Xana's blood, and then later on, like, oops, our mistake. How much it makes you uneasy about somebody purposely trying to obfuscate Kaylee's blood being down there, and if that's the case, that's a major problem.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, just one of the many with this whole entire case.
Yeah,
it almost sounds like, sorry to interrupt, but we know that there was Xana's blood was on the wall behind the bar cart, that little brass bar cart there. Yeah. Okay. So it almost makes you wonder if they just kind of said, well, her blood's there, so let's just say that's her blood too. Like this was so weak. These people were so lazy. They, the whole thing, the incompetence is like capital I, just saying. These aren't mistakes anymore, you guys. Like there's no way. I agree with Lee completely on what he said earlier. Like, you could make a handful of mistakes in a case like this. I'll give you that. There's 4 people murdered here. Okay. You got to take what you got to take, but Jesus criminy, folks, like every other day, there's something new that they popped out with it. There was it's another mistake, and it's another mistake. And we had this mistake and that mistake. It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. It just doesn't.
No. I think part of it's done to confuse us on purpose.
Yes.
Truly.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely, Logan. Absolutely.
And that's my point, without saying it, because you'd get in trouble saying it, but it's just like JJ had said on other things. If any one of those things happened, you might be able to dismiss it as a mistake. But this is rising to the level of not a mistake, in my opinion, not incompetency, but a direct effort to try to change the evidence so that people wouldn't question the official story. That's a huge difference. I don't know that you can just pass this off as a simple mistake or incompetence. Even it's starting to rise to the level of fuckery. You're literally trying to change the story of what happened.
Yeah, and I should retract the incompetence statement. I agree.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Even I'm, being reserved and saying that even if it was a mistake by her, which we believe it wasn't, probably, but even if it was a mistake, that she just made this conclusion based on the numbering of items that was given to her, she's still contradicting her own initial conclusion,
right?
Because she said that's my point, is that she's said that it's from spatter, that the only thing that changed is that now it's not Santa's blood, it's Kaylee's blood.
And that's it. These people have one job. This is what they do. Okay.
Right.
They're forensics. End of story. That's what they do. You don't get no. I'm fully so like I said, I retract the incompetent statement and say it was in my opinion, it was all done on purpose. I agree with that.
And this
it
is
bothers.
why I really hope that WSU just freaking hauls so many people into court. I hope it goes to trial, and I hope they haul them into court and they make them have to tell exactly what happened. These professional people.
And that's a good, I agree with you. I think we should probably stop on the hell am I talking about? Stop and talk about stomp on the WSU situation tonight too, because there's a lot of stuff that's starting to roll out. We started to touch on it last night a little bit, but it's kind of blowing up a bit, guys, in my opinion. Did you see, I noticed Logan mentioned something about that earlier. What are your thoughts on what's going on with that so far?
I think that we may possibly see some movement surrounding Brian Koberger, maybe an appeal in the near future, but I think we are going to get a lot of little details with this WSU lawsuit on the case itself. And I don't think WSU wants to lose that much money. So I think we're going to be getting some good information from them.
So do you think that the appeal could be coming because they're seeing what's going on in Washington and saying, hey, here's our chance. Let's jump on board and ride this out?
I think so. There's also talk of Brian Koberger suing over the video that was put out of him while he was in the prison. So I think maybe there will be, if he's going to sue, then I think he will probably make some movement on some sort of an appeal or something as well.
Well, and who could blame him? I mean, I'd sue over that too. They're not supposed to do that.
Well, I don't know if we talked about, did we ever talk about that in here? I know I did on my channel with the whole prison thing where they said that we know who put that video out, but don't worry, guys, they resigned, so there's not going to be any charges. Did we ever talk about that?
Not really, no. I don't think we discussed that over here.
Well, I think we did a few months, but not much. I do recall us touching on it, but I don't think we got into a huge.
Does anybody else think how that's insane?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, whether that person
resigns or not, privacy.
Yeah, it's still wrong. You can't do that.
Right. You can commit a crime now and just say, okay, guess what? I quit my job, so leave me alone. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
No.
It's the same kind of thing that in my opinion, it's the same thing that a lot of people were doing when everybody started retiring and moving out of Moscow immediately after this, because they knew the shitstorm was coming. And here's what they deal with. Instead of somebody losing their job, being fired and losing their pension and their whole career flushed down the toilet, they just go, oh, you know what? They don't work here anymore. We took care of that problem. They don't work here anymore. And that's supposed to appease the public, that because they don't work there anymore, we don't have to hold them accountable for what happened when they were there. So they all abandon ship like rats on a fucking ship going down, and then the idea is well, hey, don't worry about it, they don't work here anymore. Well, that doesn't fix the problem. That doesn't fix the problem of what they did when they were there. So
if I were Brian, it wouldn't fix it for me. I would definitely go to court over that.
Absolutely. You can't commit a crime and just step back from the situation and say, well, I didn't mean to do it, so I'm just going to walk away. That'll be enough, right? Yeah,
well, that's the equivalent of tearing the house down and paving over a crime scene. Oh, they retired. Don't look over there. Don't worry, because they know that the public, if they have questions, a lot of people will just be like, oh, well, they don't work there anymore. And that kind of at least squashes the story a little bit.
Not enough for me. Not enough for me.
No. Mm-mm.
But they did it at the WSU as well, right?
Yeah.
That guard or university officer.
WSU police.
Right. They got a guy that they were going after, and then they said that there were a few other people involved, but there was
the police chief.
They just left.
The assistant chief and the captain. They all retired early.
Right, they just left.
And there was no punishment put in play for that. Like bullshit. I'm sorry.
It happens everywhere. And just because we cover other cases too, it happens everywhere. Just like, and we'll be brief on it, Luigi Mangioni's case. when they got caught eavesdropping on attorney-client privileges, all something happened is somebody recused themselves, and then when they said, "Hey, that was illegal," they go, "Oh, don't worry about it. He stepped down anyways. He recused himself." Well, you think you avoid, and they did. I shouldn't say they think, they do flat out avoid prosecution for things that should put people in jail, lose their bar license, the whole fucking thing. But no, there's, hey, you know what? They stepped down. Don't worry about it. Well, that doesn't fix the problem that you did something illegal. But that's how they fix it all the time. Hey, they just quit. Don't worry. They took care of it. And the public apparently, in my opinion, isn't educated enough or smart enough to cry bullshit on that. And they say, "Oh, okay, well, I guess he quit, so that's good enough." It's not good enough. That guy left with his career intact when he might have been able to go to jail for that kind of shit. So people aren't holding people accountable.
It's becoming general practice, folks, on so many different things. It's really, really, truly is.
Thank you, Bianca, for the 5 gifted. I appreciate you so much.
Bianca's on a roll tonight. Damn.
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be accepted, you guys. You shouldn't be able, like, we're the ones that have to say something about this. We're the people, okay? They work for us. All of these entities, they all work for us, okay? And for us to just sit here and go, well, okay, he quit, so it can't be okay. It can't be okay, because it's going to continue to happen, and it's going to happen in higher places the more we allow for it to be without saying something, you know?
And the answer always is they quit, so you can't go after that guy, and you can't go after the guy that took their place because didn't happen, and that's the wrong person to punish it. So at the end, everybody's left with nobody to punish for their bad deeds. That guy quit, and don't go after this guy because he wasn't involved at that time. So it's just all under the rug. Just let it go. Let it go. It's over. You're like, well, nobody's held accountable for it. Oh, that's too bad. It's unfortunate.
Well, and that's based on what I saw with the WSU, the response from WSU to the lawsuit. Like, I feel like they're kind of pulling for some accountability here, okay, with this situation, to jump back on that. And that's what we need to see. They even stated in what I was reading through this morning. I scanned through it last night with us in here last night, but I read it this morning, and I'm telling you, they're not. This is no joke to them. They have a panel of attorneys that aren't playing. They're looking to find accountability. Not to mention, and I hate to say this because I don't believe that the families need to have to deal with anything more than they already have. But when they point out the fact that this is not from them, this is not on them, they want these families to be able to pay for this now. I can't say that I don't blame it, okay? Like, if you're going to bring these people into the light and try to say it's their fault, with nothing to stand on, okay? It's one of the dumbest claims I've ever heard in my life, that you should have seen that this guy was a bad person and not allowed him to go to your school, so we're suing you. You're fucking kidding me, guys. That makes no sense in my mind. So, in turn, they're going to now point out and say, well, there's other people out here that should be held accountable before this kid even should be brought into picture. And that's what I'm looking to see. Go ahead, Logan. You look like you're about to say something.
Thank you, Lenny, for the Lenny Mo 7 for the super sticker. I appreciate you.
Well, you know, I think there's a lot of this going around, and I think we see it in a lot of cases. I think we're going to see it in the Nancy Guthrie case, where if you question the story, then you are, you know, the grieving families. How dare you question the grieving families? Of course. And some people will, let's be honest, will take advantage of being in that position. And because people know, it's like, it's a societal norm. Like, oh, the grieving family, you can't question anything they do. You can't question their motives. You can't question anything. So it's like a psychological play.
That's like, way overplayed too, JJ.
It's being overplayed. And I think the sad reality is there are certain types of people in the world who will try to capitalize on situations.
Yep.
And there are in the world, let's be honest, there are grifters. There are people who it's their nature to try to game everything. And that's just the way it is. Now, anybody who understands law knows, like, lawyers, they're cutthroat because that's the game. The game, some people will say, how could you try to convict somebody that you know the evidence doesn't support that they're guilty? Well, that's the game. The legal system is literally called an adversarial system. And so it not only enables, but it encourages that kind of activity.
I
I mean, if we look at the Nancy Guthrie case, and that's how simple it is for somebody to go down for a crime that they didn't commit. I'm going to assume that they thought it might have been him because they did a cast report and his phone number showed up. Maybe we should be looking at what type of vehicle he drives, because maybe that vehicle was seen on camera. And that's part of the reason they maybe thought it was him, things like that. But that's how simple it is. All they would have to say is his phone number was there. He's a delivery driver. He was in the area. And now everybody believes he's the one who actually did it. That's how easy it is.
Yeah. And before we accidentally or whatever pivot to Guthrie, I want to ask you guys a question. Have you guys talked about, while I was gone or whatever, Olivia Gonzalez's Senate Bill 1250, the one that she's got all the attention for, that just was approved hands down by the Senate in Idaho?
No, I've tried to stay away from it because I don't want to give her that, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, Olivia Gonzalez got proposed a bill, Senate Bill 1250, that makes it, she wants to make it illegal, or I should say, crime scene photos that involve victims' bodies are exempt from public records requests, that no one's allowed to see it except for the victims only. And they passed it unanimously, saying that they 100% support her. So it's Olivia Gonzalez's bill that people will not be able to see any crime scene photos that involves a body. And I have a huge problem with transparency. How is anybody supposed to fact check anyone and question the official narrative if they make it illegal for people to request crime scene photos that require a request? It's complete horseshit. And they're all for it. Idaho's all, yep, absolutely. We won't show. Let's make it illegal for anybody to publicly request or to provide anything that the public asks if it has a body in it, because it's just disrespectful to the families. And like this is a huge problem with transparency if you don't allow anybody to ever question what happened. It's
then other states are going to jump on board then.
Yes.
Right.
Well, what have I been saying? I've said a million times. When high profile events happen, look at what happens as a result of those events. Right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that is being pushed hard in the Nancy Guthrie case is two main things that I've noticed. Number one, you notice how Bitcoin's doing a lot of heavy lifting in the media, right? That's one. And I was listening to Dago's stream today, and they were on the news. They were talking about essentially surveillance, the technology used for surveillance, i.e. predictive policing and things like that. Now, I've been screaming from the rooftops for a long time that these high profile cases will be used to get people to go along with more domestic surveillance, like predictive policing and a lot of these like geofencing type of operations and things like that. Now, I sent an interesting interview with Whitney Webb about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now being used by the banking cartel, and they're going to they're pushing for it to be used around the world.
Yep.
Right. And now I believe either one of two things is going to occur as a result, particularly in relation to the Nancy Guthrie case. I think they're either going to try to demonize Bitcoin because it's not surveillable enough. And it's not, you can't track as well with it, because they've been pushing, all the oligarchs, for a surveillable digital ID and central bank digital currency. So in my opinion, they're gaming the markets with Bitcoin right now. And they're either going to push people towards Bitcoin or demonize it. It'd be impossible for me to predict that, obviously. And what we all know, the government has already invested billions of dollars in Palantir and domestic surveillance and data capture. And I think, this is just me being me, I think all these high profile cases are going to be used for that. I think the Luigi case will be used for that. I think Idaho 4 will be used. We see what's happening now already.
Charlie
and
Kirk.
I think the Nancy Guthrie case, the reason why it's dragged on as far as it has is because it gives them more time to hit on the talking points. And I wouldn't be surprised if it carries on a lot longer and they keep bringing up Bitcoin's going to, I predict, you guys can shit on me if I'm wrong, that Bitcoin's going to continue to play a role in the narrative, and domestic surveillance or predictive policing, however you want to put it, is going to play a major role. And those talking points are going to be hammered down the public's throats.
Well, I would agree with that, because they're already talking about how out in that area, how the cameras, I mean, there are few and far between. They've had a shortage of cameras in that area. So that's going to somehow introduce, how do we get more cameras into this area?
Absolutely.
Which goes to the predictive policing and the surveilling and everything else.
Just to add to what you just said, JJ, I agree with you first and foremost, okay? But watch, and I know this sounds stupid, you guys, but I'm almost curious if they're going to, I think somebody just said this in the chat. Yeah, right there. That's what I was getting ready to speak on right there. I wouldn't be surprised if they go and somehow try to use Othram now.
Sure.
To try to solve it. Think about that.
They want it everywhere. They want it everywhere.
Of course.
These are exactly what we were talking about, last week, about how this, and it's not truly a political twist, but it kind of is, folks, if you think about it, okay? The Bitcoin thing, and then that right there. If I'm telling you, I'll be surprised if they don't use it.
And Dago, on your stream, remember how that guy made sure to talk about IGG?
That's exactly why I brought that up. Exactly.
Yeah. They're going to try to make it so like it's the norm. Everybody's got to submit. If you want to help stop crimes, you got to submit your DNA to these services, whatever. It's going to happen, I'm sure. And that's
they've been pushing already for this. For like, they want full and total control of all of us. Period.
Of course, absolutely. Right. And when DA and I were at the Crime Con listening to Othram Labs presentation, we both said to each other, "This is like a investor's pitch, talking about it. We want to bring Othram to every police force in the country, and it's going to be widespread." This is all about. It's all about domestic surveillance. And controlling, and the Bitcoin and all that stuff is all part of that.
It's coming down the pike for sure. Next thing you know, they're going to be forcing everybody to put a little chip in their hand and say, "Here you go." You know?
It's coming. They're already pushing for it.
It is some wild and crazy stuff for sure, guys. Truly. Truly. And I was going back to what Lee was talking about, guys. I need to restate on something on this too. And this is with all due respect to the families for their losses. We all up here agree that we all have nothing but total and full compassion for their loss. But they passed this law for Olivia Stevenson, okay? And they see this. She knows that they passed it. What are the odds now that they're going to start pushing other things to try to get passed? I mean, I'm just saying, I feel strong about that now that they got their foot in the door.
100%. That's what the odds are.
Yeah. Right. And I guarantee you there's going to be more to come. And at some point, they're going to take everything. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Logan.
Especially because she got her way on this one. She's going to go for more and more and more and more.
And at some point, there's going to be something pushed. This is my opinion, by the way, to try to shut us all down. That's going to be coming. I promise you that's coming. And I can see it. Go ahead, Lee.
It's got a trickle effect. It's got a trickle effect because if Olivia is successful in saying that the public can't see crime scene photos with bodies, then next step is we're not allowed to see the coroner's report. We're not allowed to see the autopsy. Because all of it will be the same exact thing. It's disrespectful to the families. You don't need to see that. Therefore, you can't question law enforcement, period. Sorry, we told you what happened, and that's just going to be it, because it's disrespectful to the victims' families to let you question what happened. We told you what happened, and trust us, bro, is going to be the answer.
That's it right there. Trust us, bro. That's exactly where I see this going. We have Stacey Chapin with Othram. Okay, you got Olivia Gonsalves' space on this law. Now they're going to boom, 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 boom. It's going to be a pinball effect, and it's just going to keep happening.
And what worries me about that is It is what it worries. Sorry, I'll let you go. Just like what worries me about that is the domino effect. If departments, whether it's law enforcement or whatever, get to the point where they realize they can't be questioned, God help us all if they can't be questioned. If you can't ever, then they can do whatever they can in a theoretical thing. They could murder anybody they want, and you can't prove anything because they literally control everything about it. You're never allowed to question them. So God help us all if you can't question them. If you can't question them and ask for the details, we're screwed.
And then going back
we'll be safe then from our Gilgo Beach.
But going back to like what Lee was talking on earlier with Letcher County, Jesus God, can you imagine if that stuff were to get put in play? What could happen in a place like Letcher County, folks? It's endless. It's horrifying to even think about at this point. And like Robin said, you have a great point.
Yeah, I want to tag on what you just said, Dago, because you're absolutely right. Think about this: Letcher County already has had a sheriff kill a judge right in the courtroom, and there's allegations from locals that the police are raping and abusing and murdering people in that county. If you give them a law that says no one's allowed to question the photos or see anything that happened, again, if you've got a corrupt department, it is over for people if you can never question them and just have a corrupt department. If that's happening, right? A corrupt department tell you, well, sorry, you're just not allowed to see it. Oh, that's it. We were told you murdered them. Well, too bad. Yeah, we told you what happened. So deal with it.
Trust me, bro. And like Robin said, real quick here, and then I'll shut up, I promise. Like Robin said earlier, when they see if something like that happens, other departments and other entities see this, it's over, guys. We're done. That's it. Because they'll just jump on board.
Scary precedent.
Someone in the chat just said about, and again, I'm not trying to be political, about ICE taking pictures of the protesters and keeping a database. I'm sorry, folks. They did that almost 10 years ago during the Standing Rock, incident in South Dakota.
Yeah.
When they were taking pictures of the Standing Rock protesters and using militarized weapons on the elderly and the kids and everything else. They were doing that then, taking pictures and keeping databases of folks there. So this is not anything new that they're doing. So what we're telling you, it's coming to pass. And unless we stand up against it.
The insurrection, when the insurrection happened in Washington, okay? Every bit of that's recorded in some form. They know every single person that was involved in that. And if they haven't been dealt with at this point, it's coming. So any kind of freedom of speech that we have, and I'm not trying to turn this political, I'm just telling you, or any kind of freedom of anything that we have, again, folks, we have to remember these people work for us, but they don't. They're taking full and total control of themselves. And when and if that happens, oh my God.
Well, that's why I won't get deep into it on here, but the reason why I always connect these big true crime cases to the bigger picture is for this very reason, because they use the media. Like, and I mean, it still shocks me that most people don't know that forever the mainstream media has been in concert with the CIA. This is irrefutable fact. It can't be argued. It's a fact. And people say, "Oh yeah, I know that." But think about what that means. That means that they're using the media to shape public narratives, to dissuade people from questioning certain things, shoving these narratives down their throats that serve their agendas. And these big cases that are high profile, they're being used. They're being used to stop people from questioning. Oh, you can't question the poor family. How dare you? How dare you question law enforcement? How dare you question this, that, and the other, right? All while the creep towards it's already a surveillance state, but to get the public to accept it, because they know the public at large does not accept it yet. And if they can use cases because everything you see on the mainstream media has an agenda behind it. Everything you see. And when you learn to spot it, you can spot it. I spotted it today, on Dago broadcasted these clips, and I'm like, holy shit, they're not even trying to hide it anymore.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
And real quick, let me interrupt. I'm sorry, but thank you, Butterfly Wings, for gifting that membership. It looks like it went to Jay Garcia. Congrats. Welcome to the Sauce, Jay. And thank you again, Butterfly. Very generous. And you know what, JJ, I got to say this. And again, I'm not trying to turn political on this, guys, but it seems like every so often they do something to try to make stuff like this happen. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and there's nothing wrong with there being that way, but a lot of the stuff I'm seeing is not, in my opinion, anymore classified as a conspiracy theory. It's factually happening. So
Right.
if you look back at when
There's
the
a
pandemic
difference.
hit, right, exactly. If you look back at when the pandemic hit, it's the same thing. It was just a different variation of how they were doing it, in my opinion. And it just keeps happening in different forms until they get something locked in that works. And they got to convince all of us to say, okay, it'll work. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, it's all manipulation of the public,
right,
through the media and through events.
Yeah.
And if I could just say, like, I know it's hard for most people to think that the government would do really horrific things, but they do, and they always have. And I don't like thinking about it either. But if people realize, I think a lot more people are waking up to it now. I mean, how much fuckery has been in the Idaho 4 case? And oh, by the way, it's capped in a national security blanket.
Right.
Why is this little town in Idaho, this little college town, has this horrific quadruple homicide, but it's all veiled under national security? You have to start asking these questions.
Yeah, and I want to say this too, like maybe this is going to sound crazy to you, but this is what how I believe the world works. So it is very likely that even in a situation with Olivia Gonzalez, somebody who, as JJ might say, has an intended outcome they want to get from this, right? Which is shutting down transparency. So they play this game. Somebody in law enforcement buddies up with Olivia and says, man, it's got to be painful watching all these people out there requesting public records and seeing your sister dead on the floor, kind of thing. If I were you, I'd draft legislation. We can help you with that. I can't put my name on it, but I can help you because you can champion this, and they'll listen to you because you're and coach her. It might not even be her idea, and they'll be like, they're behind her, like, yes, we got more control. We can shut down any crime scene photos, and we'll just use this family unwittingly playing on their emotions to say, man, if I were you, I would stop that shit if I could. You should draft some legislation. We'll get behind you. We'll help you write it even. We'll let you put your name on it and be the face of it. Thank God you did that so you can shut down public inquiry and we don't have to show shit anymore to anybody.
Bullseye.
And are they going to have a run for office?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound odd to me at all, man. That sounds like very tame
that's what
version.
we're seeing. It's happening in front of our face.
Because you can't question the grieving family.
Right. So you use
go
them
against.
Well, if you do, you can question them, but then we're the horrible people because we're questioning things that are being said and done. And if we don't do that, folks, and that's exactly what this is supposed to be. They want us to just sit there's people out there that are like, you just should sit down and be quiet and just let it be what it is. They wouldn't do this if it wasn't right. Law enforcement don't arrest people that shouldn't be arrested. They don't convict people that are innocent. They don't do what the fuck are you talking about? It's daily. So sorry. I get worked up over this shit. I'm sorry.
Well, I would expect someone in the chat just mentioned the Epstein thing. I would expect a lot more high impact events to happen and drag on because man, I've never seen quote unquote the right and the left come together over anything like I have with the Epstein files. Now, I've said it a million times. I don't buy into the right versus left shit, but but I'm just making a point that this is something that they will do everything in their power to distract the public away from. And in a way, we're at a really crazy tipping point in the world where the old model of a divided population that it's accepted that this is how it is starting to change because people are starting to realize it's not us against each other because we have some differing beliefs. It's us, the citizens against the powerful and the elite people that are killing the world, basically. And so I know, again, I apologize for repeating myself, but true crime cases like these big high profile ones are related to that.
Yes, sir. That's why we don't see these cut and dry, like I've been complaining about. That's why we don't see the cut and dry black and white cases anymore, because it's almost as if there's somebody standing there with a clipboard going, we can use this one. Let's go. Run it. You know what I mean? Right. It's almost like it's a production every time now because of that situation. And they see it for what it is. And it's sad, but it is true. And like JJ said, we're at a crossroads. Okay. Truly and honestly. And it you look one way or you look the other. In my opinion, I wouldn't look either way. I stay right in the middle and keep going forward. That's the best thing I can do. So
and I'll add one more thing, and that, we're going down. I guess we're going down the worst case scenario, because I feel like people don't think about the worst case scenario until it's too late. And you're like, well, this is something a lot of us saw coming a long time ago, but you didn't see it because you didn't think far enough ahead. This is a game of chess, and you're not thinking far enough ahead. So you keep letting the little pawn move forward, and you don't realize you're sealing your own fate. Until it's too late. And you're like, well, why didn't somebody say something? Well, we were fucking trying to say something. Here's another example. If we get to the point where, like you say, they're pushing for everybody to submit your DNA to DNA databases so that we can help get bad guys kind of thing, then God help you when you combine those two things. Hey, so-and-so was murdered. No, you can't see proof of it, but we found their DNA at the scene. And no, we can't show you the DNA on how we got there, but you submitted your DNA to the database and you're the guy that we're saying you did it. And you can't see anybody dead, but you're going to jail for a murder that you don't get to even look into. Thank you. Have a nice day. Like, we're getting to that point. You submit your DNA. Now you can be placed at any crime scene in America, and they don't even have to show you that a crime happened, because they can hide behind it. Well, hey, we just trust us. You did it. So, and we don't have to show you that there was a crime committed. You're going to jail.
And don't get it wrong, folks. People are saying, I've heard people say, like, oh, that's so far down the road. We got time. Really? Go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow and see what happens. Is all I'm telling you. Because shit can happen that fast. You guys realize that.
And also, if people are sitting and fighting over different things and distracted, that's the key, right? Because some people are not going to do anything about it. They're just going to kind of go along with what the media is pushing, and they'll be interested, but they'll be distracted from all the other things that are happening right now. And I highly recommend people look into Whitney Webb. And another person I would highly recommend is Michael Benz, Benz. And if you really want to see people that they have details upon details. And Whitney Webb has been talking about this stuff for years, and everything she's talked about has come to fruition.
And let me throw something else in there too, you guys, that somebody said in the chat. I said this the night that it happened, and I couldn't believe how many times have we watched the Super Bowl and ever in life seen 2 halftime shows? Because what that does is create a division right down the middle. Okay,
sure it does.
It absolutely did. And I went, "What the fuck is this?"
And we have to ask ourselves along what lines.
And I'm gonna give a 2-part thing, and I'd like to see what one thinks about this, because we've talked about this a lot. We joke about, you don't want to go to war with Candace Owens, right? Because she is going so hard after Erica Kirk right now. She's going to do a week-long expose on Erica Kirk. So you don't want to go to war with her. And the second part of that is to something that other people have talked about. For all we know, Candace could be part of the distraction.
It's a good
Candace could be. And I try to keep an open mind and see how things play out, because a lot of these because, I'm referring to the Charlie Kirk case, obviously, major high profile case. And so the distraction part is something that you really have to pay attention to, because what does it do? It keeps us fighting about something, even if it's just our opinions about a high profile case. It keeps people distracted.
Which in turn should make you guys realize that they even use us for this, folks, obviously.
Sure.
Every aspect of what they can do. Yeah. Here we sit right now. Regardless of what we're doing and why we're doing it, we're still being used as a tool, period.
And the Candace thing is tough because she seems to be like the only one that seems to get all this info about Charlie. You know, she has such a, what does she have, like 5 million YouTube subscribers? So
yeah,
you know,
she's getting up there.
She puts something out, and even if it's something that's like so far out there, she has such a far reach. And we can't, you know, you can't really, like, it's hard to question some of the stuff. Like there's nowhere else people always want info. So
the biggest
she comes across that, you know, she wants to solve this and she wants to get the info, but it's easily manipulation, you know.
The biggest thing is I'm not saying everything is a conspiracy theory, guys. All I'm saying is pay attention to what's going on. That's all. Look at it from every angle you can. Right. Every angle you can, and just pay attention. That's all.
Logan, do you ever put the tinfoil hat on?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
But a lot of times I don't feel like it you know, people want to say that because it's a way for them to discredit you and they call you a conspiracy theorist, right? That's the whole point of it. But I feel like a lot of conspiracies stem from something that was truthful at some point.
Absolutely.
There's some truth to it. So
right, of course.
And just pulling
and in my opinion, you know, I think there's a difference between a conspiracy theory that some people latch on to because it's just a sexy and fun thing for them to think about, right? But there's a difference between that and stuff that has a very wide and deep foundation behind it that's basically been proven over time. And so I think there's a difference, and it's a slippery slope, but I think there is a difference.
Yep, I agree.
I've seen in a few other shows, like people covering the Nancy case, and I just wanted to say, I do, for anyone that does have a missing person, I do feel bad for anyone out there because you're no less important. You know, obviously, Nancy, it's the connection to her daughter there, and she's famous, but doesn't mean you're any less important, you know. And there's so many missing people, missing children all over, you know. It's a shame because some of them don't get whether this is some kind of whatever, you know, whatever's going on with the Nancy thing, whether it's real or not real, whatever's happening. But there's so many cases that don't get any coverage at all, you know. Right. I feel bad.
Yeah, there's no resources put towards helping or the considerations of regular people that have suffered.
Right.
And look at all the children from Hawaii that went missing that nothing ever came of. Look at the things happening around the world. Look at all the bad things that are happening around the world, and no, the media is not talking about that every day nonstop. What about the supposed, you know, the Epstein list? What about the people that were victims? What's really being done? It's kind of gross.
Nothing. It is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, it's really sad with this stuff that goes on. I mean, some of the, you know, Epstein's first conviction. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there was more than one person that came forward, and he was only he got like a slap on the wrist. He got nothing. You know, it was like nothing.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
Yep.
I mean, it's like reminded me of I forget the guy's name, but I know they have a documentary on Netflix. That whole big controversy with the gymnast, the female, the American, like the Olympic gymnast out west. There was like a doctor or
that
worked for the team, and there was a girl there was like a girl that tried to come forward and make a complaint, and the school, you know, they basically like hid it for like a few years. I mean, ultimately, yeah, he wound up getting charged and convicted and all that, but it shouldn't take. I'm not saying just because someone makes an allegation, that's it, throw away the key. But I mean, people shouldn't have to go years like kicking and screaming, you know.
Well,
Yeah, because it's
right. It's like
cover-ups.
with Idaho 4. It's these
Right.
universities, the power that they wield, and it's, you know, everyone from officials to the administrators, even to in some cases the students themselves. I mean, it, it it's it's just a systemic problem with, like you're saying, places not wanting to take that responsibility for the actions of either people that they have working for them, or and or students potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, you know, we all remember the Penn State scandal.
Yeah.
I mean, that was covered up for
Oh,
decades. I
decades.
mean, you know,
Yeah.
and again, that was all about the Penn State football program. The
Right.
you
Yep.
know, this holy football program with the holy coach Paterno, and that was an example of them trying to protect money. They're
Yeah.
trying to protect their financial situation, and it's that's unfortunately, I believe, what has been a big role within the Idaho 4 case is the school, which I've been saying forever, was having a big sway. I would say a total sway over the investigation.
I'm curious
Yeah.
how the news pick, you know, the mainstream media, how they pick what case they're going to make, you know, famous or constantly talked about, you know, over other cases. I wonder, you know, is it, oh, because of the way they look or because of politics and what, you know, I always wonder what makes this case more important than this case.
If it
Do you
bleeds,
Yeah.
it
think,
leads.
Logan, that do you think, Logan, that maybe it could be kind of a thing of they pick what they think might keep people stirred up the most?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure that that
Definitely.
has
They
a
have the
lot to do with
experts
it.
that work the propaganda machine, right? We know Tucker Carlson's father was like, he was involved in like the beginning of some of this stuff, the whole media and the controlling. I think that exactly, if there's a certain story that they can use to push their certain agenda, whether predictive policing or
Sure.
whatever it is that they're trying to push, they will use it.
And commercials too. They'll use
Yes.
I mean, commercials can be some of the best propaganda out there, especially if they're entertaining ones.
Yeah, once you learn how to spot it, you can't unsee it. You
Yeah.
know, it's you know, I believe it's like one of those things that society needs is like a paradigm shift where
Yeah,
when you
definitely.
learn to see it clearly, when you're being told what to think, when you're being steered to feel a certain way, when an agenda is clearly being pushed, I think they don't like that that's happening, that more and more people are waking up. And that is why, in my opinion, the march towards a surveillance state and more totalitarian type
Hmm.
societal systems and governance has rapidly sped up, is because the awakening is happening. I see it. If you follow certain people online, um, you can see that the awakening is happening because there's people with a very large and wide reach that are spreading a lot of this information about the way things really work. And if more people weren't waking up, these people wouldn't be having a huge following like they do. I think more and more people are waking up and it scares the power structure.
Yeah.
It's a good point. It is a good point, JJ.
Yeah, JJ, that video you sent me on the
damn, Bianca.
Oh wow, Bianca!
nice. Thank you,
Thank you
Bianca.
so much, Bianca.
How many
So
new members you
sweet.
got tonight, Logan?
I think like 25, 30.
Nice.
Good job, Bianca.
Nice,
You guys are
nice.
awesome.
Bianca's incredible. Thank you so much.
But JJ, that video you sent me on the Bitcoin was really good with the talking about the Brahmins and the big banking and all that.
Well,
It's
man,
a big
Whitney's the
picture.
best, man. She
It's
knows. I mean, if you want to know
yeah,
what's going on and you
right.
want to know what's coming down the pike,
Yep.
listen to Whitney Webb because she lays it
Yeah.
out in very, very finite details.
Yeah.
And that's why she's not on the mainstream news. And she's been on some of the sort of mainstream-ish kind of programs. She was on Patrick Bet-David's show, and she was on Glenn Beck's show and things like that. But the mainstream media will never have someone like Whitney Webb
No,
on.
Yeah.
no, because
And
she can
it's
think
just,
circles around them.
yeah, it's interesting. And what I respect about her is she doesn't get into sensationalism. She doesn't get into, if you ask her, well, what do you think we should do about it? She pretty much says you need to have communities. Things need to be fixed on a community level, and people need to form stronger communities to solve the problems. And, many cultures I know because I worked in Jersey City for many years, and there was a huge Filipino community there. They have their own banking system within the Filipino community where they loan each other money, and they do it like that. That way they don't have to rely on, big banks and the predatory lending system. So communities need to solve these problems, not and stop thinking the government is going to solve them and the media is your source of information, because it should be fairly obvious to most people by now that that's not the case.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring the whole panel
Nah,
down.
No, you're good. You're
a
good.
deep thought.
You're
It's
good.
kind of hard because when you're talking about true crime, you're talking about things hopefully that are true, but this that we're discussing tonight, it's true. So there is that intersection. So
Yeah.
DA looks very
Facts
deep
are
in
facts.
thought over there.
He's a deep thought.
Facts are facts.
Yeah, I mean, I would be really happy, as well. I have been happy to find out that people see the connection.
Yeah.
Like they're like, yeah, they see that how that's these cases, because I always preface everything by saying high impact, high profile cases, right?
Hmm.
I don't think smaller cases that don't have a bigger picture behind them fall into the same category necessarily. But the big high impact ones, like the Idaho 4 and the Charlie Kirk, the Luigi Mangione, and now the Nancy Guthrie case, and there are many others, they do fall into this category. And so it makes me hopeful to see people making those connections, and to see how people are being manipulated, and people are being steered, and now with this Olivia Gonsalves thing, we're going to see more of that. And
Yeah.
I am standing by what I've been saying all along. Watch what happens as a result of these cases.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's what Lee said. I mean, he listening to, not to attack the families, but the Gonzalez family. Like, I mean, if they had their way, we wouldn't get any documents on anything. They don't want us to have anything.
No, they don't.
right. Right. And it's gonna it bleeds over into all of these other cases that we're following. Um, with Luigi, I mean, there's the whole healthcare system thing, like Lee's always saying. So, you know, now they're conspiring in my opinion, kind of conspiring against him and using him. These two judges, you know, they're like having this pissing contest over, you know, who gets to go first and who gets to try him first.
Right.
And which is going to bring all the healthcare industry stuff to bear on that. So
JJ, what do you think of the Guthrie case?
I don't know, man, because I'm gonna sound like a broken record if I say what I really think, but I'll say it. I think that I don't trust it. I don't believe what they're saying. I think I said this to one in a message. Why you have a person that walks up to a front door. There is a security gate on the front door, right? They come up to it, they see that, they don't try to pull out a tool to break into the front door, but they walk away from the door, but they come back to it. So if you don't have a tool or some tools to try to break into the front door, why go back to the front door?
I don't think that was his first time walking up to the front door. I think he came from around the side of the house and not from, that wasn't his first time coming up to the door.
Right. But what I'm saying is they stayed in the camera view. So in my opinion, if you go to a door and more than once, you don't have tools to break in. So why go back to the door and stand in front of a camera? I believe they wanted to have somebody in the camera eye so that they could show the public. And
that's what I said earlier today too. Like he was supposed to be seen. Meanwhile, somebody else is out here doing other stuff too.
Right. And on top of that, I pick this stuff up really quickly because I'm tuned into it. The Bitcoin thing. And before I listened to Dago's stream today, I said to myself, I said, how long before they start pushing the domestic surveillance and the cameras and this and that and the other? And then boom, it was on I don't know, was that Fox News, Dago?
Yeah, that was Fox. Yeah.
And I'm like at work and I'm like, I wanted to just curse out loud, you know, because I'm like, these motherfuckers, man, I can predict what they're going to do. Well, and so to answer your question, Logan, I don't know if this crime really happened or not, but one thing I'm positive about, there is a psyop component to it without question. And I predict that it will, in my guess, it's purely a guess, that the reason it's dragging on is so they can keep hitting these talking points. Now, if you take me out of this discussion into a bigger picture discussion, I would say, do I believe that the power structure would fake an event or manipulate an event to push these massive agendas that billions and hundreds of billions of dollars are invested in? I would say absolutely they would do that. And now most people would say, oh, that's crazy. How could you, you know?
If you look at the situation, you guys, like, here, let me throw this right back out there. Okay, we saw how this rolled out for days and days, and all of a sudden now we don't see or hear nothing from the family. I mean, Savannah put a video out, but that's all she did. She put a video out, an emotional video is what that was, to tell the whole world that she loves her mother and she misses her, it was very emotional. But that's it. We don't hear nothing else about ransom stuff or anything else from the kidnappers. You got TMZ saying somebody contacted them saying they know the kidnapper and they'll tell you who it is if you send them 1 Bitcoin. What? Come on. That's so kind of ridiculous to me. I'm sorry, but there's just some weird things that are attached to this that just, we've seen people be kidnapped before. We've seen people get kidnapped and returned and ransoms and all this stuff. This doesn't roll in line with this like a normal situation would be to me. It's just weird.
No, the ransom doesn't fit.
Yeah,
The
I'm not
ransom
saying
doesn't fit at all.
not even a little bit. And that was so all over the place. That's what bothers me with it. It was like this one's real, this one's not. This is how much we want. We want this much here. We want this much there. This is going to happen. Why is all this stuff so all over the place? And why now I found out today, I thought the FBI had been the lead on this for since last week sometime. Now you come to find out they're not the lead. They're just working with them, and they're fighting back and forth with the sheriff's department to see who's in charge. That's ridiculous. And I get, the sheriff's an idiot. I get that much. Okay. But there's so many little things about this that are just off key to me. Yeah. That's my opinion.
And now they showed today another guy with this this comment from Susie Mack saying, there's another prowler, 4 minutes away. But why aren't they why all of a sudden are they blurring out his face?
I have a clear picture of his face completely, and the guy looks strange. His nose looks like an arrow, and it's pointed. He's got, it's all weird shit. But
now all of a sudden, when I was watching it earlier, they're suddenly blurring out this dude's face. Why?
No idea.
Yeah,
no idea.
I don't get that.
Logan, what do you think? What's your take on the case?
None of it makes sense.
I think something's wrong. I'm not understanding several parts of it. All the way down to why are the plants on top of the blood on the porch? There's just a lot of parts to it. How come there's all this communication, but nobody can figure out who and where it's coming from? It's 2026. It's not 1960s and the Zodiac killer. I feel like they should be able to track a lot of this stuff. Everybody's on TV, saying that this guy's an idiot. Well, first of all, I don't think it's just one guy if it is true. And second of all, you guys, everybody's calling him stupid and an idiot and the worst, blah, blah. Well, he got away with it, didn't he? So how is he he's not that stupid? You guys are still looking for him. Or are you?
And that's something that bothers me too, Logan, because the FBI uses the same software and stuff that the CIA and the Secret Service and all of them use the same type shit. Mask or no, they know who that guy is. If they're using that software, they know exactly who he is. So where is he? You know what I mean?
Well, I just think it's also very convenient that there's no video of her coming home.
Where's the car?
Yeah, I mean,
how did they get her out of there?
Thank you.
So again, I know
where's the video of Tommaso dropping her off?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So whenever I see this kind of thing and it drags on and they're heavy-handed on certain narratives, my mind is always going to go towards fuckery. And
of course,
what level of fuckery? I could go way out there. I mean, I could go as far out as you could imagine. But
well, they told us, remember, you guys, they said that they couldn't access any video. Well, we all questioned it. Guess what? Then there's video. Okay, that was interesting. Then they said that her medication was left at the house. Remember that in the beginning? And then if you read the warrant, they're looking for victims' medication and medical devices. What? Come on. Just if you're not going to tell us the truth, don't tell us anything.
And that would take away that it's a random, a crime, of opportunity, because someone, they may know she's elderly, but they wouldn't know that she has all these different medical issues and whatever. You want to go in the house, get what you have to get, and get out.
41 minutes, guys.
41 minutes. 41 minutes. Right. A long time. And
then you have
an issue with that.
You get one glove one day that they find conveniently that just so happens to be a black nitrile glove, and then the next day now there's two. And what are we going to get? A pair of socks tomorrow and a stocking cap the day after?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, what the hell's going on? This is so ridiculous, you guys. It's like a damn game.
That drags it on.
But there's so many people that buy it, though.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Well, see, it's hard sometimes because I understand. I'm not saying that there's no way this crime happened. It's impossible for me to know that.
Of course.
Right. So I'm not, it could have be a real crime and she's really missing and something horrible could have happened to her. But it could also be, I mean, this is not, remember, her wasn't some, you guys were saying that her husband was connected with Clinton. Did you guys say that?
Yeah, in 1992, he was on the administration.
Right. So come on, man. It's like with everything that's going on right now in the Epstein files, would a powerful person connected to powerful people, I'll say that, would they be in the circles that could pull something like this off to push certain narratives and distract from other ones? Yes, of course they could.
Yeah,
that's the way it works. I mean, and I have a much broader view of what the media really is. It's a little bit different than what your average person thinks what the media is. And so when I hear things reported on the media, I look at it through that lens. Like, the media is there to push narratives, to keep people distracted, to keep them divided, to keep them confused, because that's a big one. Because guys, the CIA has the best psychologists on the planet. This is a fact. They have a media department.
Yeah.
This is a fact. So I'm pretty smart, but they're smarter. They're smarter than I am.
You do notice too, folks, that they're sliding these little news clips out about like how Nancy's husband worked for the Clintons and how this person worked for this person, and it's all coming out in the news. And it's like, what does that have to do with, but there's people that will take that and they run a touchdown with that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they keep digging for more and more and more and more. Meanwhile, like Mike just said in the chat, the last 24, he said the investigation didn't seem to actually start until 3 or 4 days ago. We're heading towards 2 weeks, 14 days, you guys. It's coming.
And we see it a lot. Lee, what do you think of all this? Just sitting here listening. I mean, I know this isn't a case that we typically follow. That's not really one of your cases, but just with hearing us, I'm really curious to hear what you're thinking here.
Well, I'm just soaking it all in. I mean, like you said, it's not a case that I officially follow. So I mean, it's funny because my wife's she's all in. Like, all my wife wants to talk about is the Guthrie case now. So, which is kind of a funny thing. And I don't know. I keep saying I need another case, like I need a hole in the head. So I've been watching and listening, but I have been reluctant to get into the weeds with it. I see it. I'm surprised, as many of you are, that this is still in the news. The headline, it puts me in the same space that JJ does, which is, what's the distraction here? What do they don't want you looking at? Why is this still the fucking lead story in all of America? Like, I just and yet, you know me, I try to shy away from the conspiracy thing. So to do the whole thing, we're all being misled down a line of fuckery again, and to question that's like, well, I don't know that I want to go down the conspiracy rabbit hole on another thing again, but that's what it feels like. Like, why is this still the lead story? And I keep asking the question, do we have proof of life yet? Why are we still fucking, like, how are we talking about ransoms? Where's the proof of life? Who would pay a ransom if you don't have proof of life? How are we still sitting here with no proof of life? I don't even know what to think about the thing, other than it just seems like it's a colossal distraction, a colossal distraction. So I don't know.
And guys, when has TPUSA ever been part of a Super Bowl halftime show? Like commercial? Didn't they have like commercial?
But I was saying,
they had something to do, right, with the Super Bowl.
Never
had a commercial. They had a separate show. They had a separate.
I don't know.
Separate
I
show.
don't watch them.
Okay.
They had a separate. They had a separate halftime show.
They had a full concert with like multiple other entertainers. Besides what?
Well, I mean, this is. I mean, this has been a move on that. They keep saying that the Super Bowl is racy and always sexist or whatever, and so they're trying to have a Christian values alternative to the Super Bowl. That's been going on for a long time. I think it's the first time we've seen TPUSA do it. But the point being is that there's been a move for a long time saying, "Oh, look, it's nothing but a bunch of hedonists that want to. There are a bunch of pedophiles on there trying to promote pedophilia during the Super Bowl, so we have to have a Christian response to the whole thing." And like you guys are saying again, if you go down the conspiracy route, it's to divide America. It's to give us another thing that we have to make a choice: Republican versus Democrat, Christian versus non-Christian. This, whatever it is, it's another dividing point. Find something to divide everybody and get them talking and fighting amongst each other is another dividing point, which starts to get old.
Right now, what do you think about? I mean, the fact Dago just a good point was the whole who the hell's in charge? I see this as a systemic type of thing. Obviously, do you?
Yeah, for sure. We've got a lot of problems in America. That's the problem. We've got a lot. We've got. I mean, I don't even know where to start. There's got a lot of problems.
Well, I mean, the big picture is that the banking cartel, the global banking cartel, they run governments. The people that are quote unquote elected are like a PR team. Right? They're there to sell the public on this or that or keep the public divided, right? It never ends. Nobody is ever held accountable in any of these congressional hearings. It's all theater. They just fight and they literally are bad actors. So it's obvious they're acting like they hate each other and they're opposed to this and that and the other. So we all want to believe that people are out there working to represent our interests, right? Of course, that's part of being a human. We're all tribal. Everybody is. We have no choice. It's in our DNA. But the reality is, if you listen to people like Whitney Webb and Michael Benz and these people, and there's many others, all the evidence shows that is not what's happening. That the bankers control the world and they have their puppets that they get into office, and their puppets are designed to keep the public divided, to sell ideas and narratives to the public, all while we're fighting. They're just doing things behind our back. And, everybody, most people know Chomsky's book, Manufacturing Consent. They get one side fighting the other. And if one side disagrees with the other so vehemently, they'll go along with any policy that seems to be opposed by the other side. And that's a way of manufacturing consent for wars, for basically surrendering your civil rights. It's been going on forever, right? The central bank, since the Federal Reserve was created, society has been basically sold into debt slavery, right? And so the bigger picture is important in every aspect of life. It's important in how the media handles true crime cases, in this case, because you'll never get past that. Who controls the media? It's the same global banks. I mean, this is verifiable. Yeah. You can go on institutional investing.
Joe,
look it up online.
Hang on a second, Joe. I just want to thank Natasha for the gift. Thank you for the super sticker.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, go ahead, Joe.
So anyway, the diatribe is basically that the same people that control our government control the whole food supply. They control all the major corporations. They control the energy supply. They control every single major corporation on the planet. Literally. That's not a real world. We're not living in a real world if that's the way it is. That means what this public wants does not matter at all. And so what I have been proposing for the last 6 years is for people to wake up and realize that is all bullshit. It's not reality to think everybody is going to agree on a bunch of shit. That's not real life, right?
No.
I have friends that have very different views.
What we're doing is so important with the true crime cases that it's important that we keep covering them. so the people, and all these cases are so important, each for their own merit. So Lee, like you say, they want us to shut up and to feel bad for questioning whether it's authorities or families or anything, but it's too important to just sit back and remain silent about it.
So let me ask you guys a question real quick. With this case the way it's going, one sec.
Thank you, Michael, for the $10 super sticker. I appreciate you so much. So nice.
Sorry about that. So we're okay. This question's even hard to ask this way. With this case that we're talking about here, with what everybody's seeing, what everybody believes or doesn't believe, or whatever, how do you see it ending? And that's to all of you guys. Like, what are your opinions? Like, what do you think is going to be the outcome, the final outcome in this situation? I know it's hard to make a guess on something like that, but like just from what we've seen, what we know is going on, what do you imagine could come from this?
I think they're going to milk it for a while, and then this is a pure guess. I could be 180 degrees wrong, and they're going to find her, and she's going to be okay.
And wouldn't that be wonderful in one way?
Yeah.
I mean, for her sake, for her sake, it would absolutely be, and for her family. I'm not saying that would not be wonderful.
I mean, that's truly what I hope,
Right. But
right.
I'm just really curious. Every time I wake up, every morning I wake up, that's the first thing I go to read it, because I cover it, obviously, to see what's new, what's changed again, or what hasn't, you know what I mean? So, and it's almost like every day it molds into something different.
Yeah. And this is the question right here on, like, you guys can see me
How will
pointing.
they explain,
how will they explain it? That's kind of what I'm asking you guys. That's kind of what I'm asking.
I think they'll say she was kidnapped and she was dropped off somewhere and they found her. And again, I know I could be completely wrong, but they're gonna win. And if that happens, I'll make a prediction. If that happens, it'll be this horrific ordeal she went through, and they'll use that to keep pushing the surveillance narrative. We need to get more cameras out there. We need to get more, IGG. We need to make it national. There's got to be, everybody's got to jump on board, and if everybody had a digital currency and digital IDs, they mentioned the ID thing, Dago, today, right? On that clip you played. Yep. I got a kick out of that one.
Oh, don't even get me started on that.
Oh, they did. Yeah, it 100%. That's why I was showing some of that stuff, because I seen Joe in there. I'm like, well, he's gonna get it. He'll get it. And now I believe that's what's gonna happen, and then it's just gonna fade away like never happened.
Yeah, to this comment, right? And they'll be like, oh, and they're gonna feed you information about what she went through, or maybe not. Maybe they get real brazen and she does a big high profile interview and, we really need to find ways to combat this from happening.
I want to add something and point something out to you guys that I knew this, but I never really put it together with this until like this morning. So a while back, Savannah did a little thing on the Today Show called Going Home. And it was all about her hometown and her mom, Nancy. She brought Nancy on the show. They showed all this stuff about her life, blah, blah, blah. So it was a really nice thing. I didn't know they did it because I don't really watch that stuff. But then I went back, I watched it last night. I was like, oh, that's wild. And it was a really nice whole thing they did. And then this happened. And I went, oh, that's weird. You know what I mean? It's just convenient. Like, of all people in the world, in America, after that was played, this happens. And it could be one or two things, folks, obviously. But it was just wild to me to see that. That's all I'm saying.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to have her wandering around somewhere from her head injury from being pistol whipped. And then, that's when everything's going to come out. See, if we had better facial recognition, we could have caught this guy, and found her a long time ago. And yeah, I think she'll be found alive, but just wandering somewhere with a head injury and delusional and doesn't know where she's at.
That's an interesting thought too, Logan. It truly is.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to find out. It's an active case, so
Yep.
this is what's interesting about it. We can make these predictions and see how it plays out. Now, nothing would surprise me, by the way, because they are monitoring all the traffic online about the buzz about this case, right? So they're sharp, man. What the technology they have is far beyond what citizens have. So they could have a whole database of the different narratives that are out there, and they'll play off of that and see what they think will get the most traction, and they'll spin it in the way that they think will serve their agendas the best. And the worst part about it is that so many people will go along with it, and they'll acquiesce, and they'll be like, yeah, we don't want this to ever happen again. We'll sign up for this digital ID, and we'll give our, we'll support the cause of a citizen DNA database and all these things. This is what manufacturing consent is. And, when they get a critical mass of people, then everybody who doesn't participate in that doesn't care, and they're selfish, and they're crazy, and they're conspiracy theorists who think the government wants to track everything you do. This is the game.
Well,
it is wild. It's another thing I'll tell you guys too that kind of bugged me is that it's wild to me that this woman was accessible to the public with who her daughter is, with the money that they have in their background, the security in that. Her security, I would have thought, would have been so much more.
Oh yeah.
Than what she had, based on what we know. I can't imagine that she would be freely available to public access the way she is. I'll just say it that way, for lack of better terms.
The one last thing I'll say about it, you notice how they're pushing the religious angle, how Savannah and Nancy are really religious.
Right.
What does that accomplish with her and, let's say, not Savannah? So I don't even like saying the words right and left, and I'm using quotes when I say that.
Right.
She's an older woman. She's 84. Look, she's religious. She has her church services that she goes through online because she's so dedicated. And Savannah gave a real religious kind of statement or whatever. That's going to make the more of the public receptive for her to be sympathetic to more of the public. So that's another one of the little tactics, in my opinion, that they make sure to throw in there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's definitely interesting, and it's doesn't seem like it's going to stop. Like any of the other cases, Idaho 4 with it heating up with a WSU lawsuit, and who knows what's coming down the pike with that. So
I feel a lot's coming. I really do.
Yeah.
As do I. So do I.
It's already happening right now. They just have to manufacture consent for it, because there's already been a lot of pushback about the Palantir and the deal with Larry Ellison, which is basically Oracle data storage. Amazon, as most people know, already has the largest contract with the intelligence agencies for data storage. What do you think that's for? And now, what is the last thing they just pitched for Amazon? There's another one that's being pitched now. It's another surveillance type thing that Amazon is involved in. So this is the world that we are now living in. And these are things that if the government and anybody in the government cared about the rights of citizens, these things wouldn't be happening already without our consent. And so these cases, I believe it's coming with Luigi. It's coming. Trust me, it's coming. It's gonna be shoved down our throat with this Nancy Guthrie case. And I believe the Idaho 4, the next step to everybody's point is they're going to use the Gonzalez family or one of the families involved. They've already got Chapin's mom for the Othram. They're going to use the families to push these agendas. It's going to happen. It's not rocket science. I don't think it's hard to figure it out. And that's what I always tell people. Watch what happens as a result.
Yeah. Well, I guess, but now that we've solved all the world problems, it's a lot of stuff in the works that bears watching, and but Lee, what are your thoughts here? What
I got nothing. I got nothing.
Well, all right. I guess in that case,
yeah. I mean,
it's about that time. So I guess we'll go around the horn. We'll go Logan, Lee, JJ, Dago, 1-1, and then I guess I'll close this out.
Sounds good.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you so much, Bianca, for all the gifted memberships. You are so freaking amazing. That's so many new turtles we have over here. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for the mods. Thank you for everybody on everybody's channel who showed up. Again, the show wouldn't be what it is without you guys, so we appreciate all of you. I'll be live again tomorrow at 5:45. We have a bunch of new stuff to go over, so don't miss that. Other than that, everybody do something nice for yourself today. Be kind, but more importantly, be kind to your animals. Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, just thank you guys for holding down the fort and stuff while I'm out doing some other things. And I appreciate that very, very much. A lot of deep topics tonight, stuff like kind of like you said, it's like we're not gonna solve all the world's problems. I feel like we got at the global level of solving the world's problems, which probably is beyond the scope of what we can accomplish. But it was an interesting thought exercise. I guess I would say, for everything is I'm going to keep pushing forward at the moment for what I'm doing. My brain is so overloaded with these big high level topics that I'm like, I don't know how to close with that. But I really appreciate everybody, giving their thoughts. And it was kind of nice to sit back. I liked I got to tell you this, Robin, it was nice kind of like taking that moment to let you just kind of take control. And I just kind of sat there as a guest on the show. It's a different perspective being back here, but I don't have to feel like I have to steer everything and navigate. So it's kind of cool. So I appreciate you giving me the chance to hang out as just a guest appearance and actually not talk so much, which is pretty cool. So anyways, I appreciate it. And thanks everybody for coming and watching the stream. And that's about all I got for now.
All right. Good. Dago.
Thank you guys so very much again for joining us. All three of these amazing communities being here. And thank you to all the moderators. Again, thank you to Lee specifically for providing a platform for this. It's always a great conversation, as was tonight again. Very interesting. Thank you again to 1-1, Robin, Miss Logan, Lee, and JJ for providing the conversation. I appreciate you all so very much for that. And real quick, if I could plug this real fast, guys, don't forget Saturday night, guys, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be premiering the Verdict Room Unfiltered. So I hope to see you guys there for that at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will be here that night too. So don't think we won't. We will be here, or at least I will be here that night for sure. So yeah, don't think we won't, because that's going to be right after. So I'm looking forward to that as well with Logan and typically unique. The last 24 and our special guest that night is going to be booking with B. So it should be a great show. That's all I got for tonight.
Logan, what's your chat called?
We're the Believers.
The Believers. All right. So I thank you to the Believers, the Meatballs, the Denizens, and all the mods. As always, thank you to the advocates. Thank you for entertaining my State of the Deep diatribe. I appreciate it. I need to get it out sometimes. Sometimes I just need to let it fly. So I appreciate you guys tolerating it. And yeah, it was a good conversation, though. I think it's good to crack things open and, you know, dig a little outside of the lines. And so I look forward to more investigating and more awakening, hopefully.
Absolutely. 1-1. What say you, sir?
Great discussion, as always. Believers, Denizens, Meatballs, Dago, Logan, Lee, JJ, Robin. Great show. Thanks to all the amazing mods. Thank you, Amanda. As always, you're like a lifeline in the backstage, doing 100 things at once, sending info while modding and sending stuff while the show is on. Can't thank you enough. You help with a million things. So I'd say it's nice to have a philosophical type, question, discussion once in a while, and try to think, a little broader, bigger picture. Have to open your eyes, but sleep with one eye open. And I will end you with my daily movie trivia.
Oh no.
So here we go.
Another one I'm not going to get.
Oh, fudge. Only I didn't say fudge. I said the word.
A Christmas story.
Christmas
Queen
story.
mother of dirty words.
Christmas story.
Damn, Dago, you're on fire.
Logan got it too.
Good job. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well
I
done.
don't know when I'll ever get one, but that's all right. Whatever.
That's like one of my
will, you
all-time
will.
That's a
favorite movies.
classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
I've been to that house like 15 times.
Really?
Yeah, it's the house is up in Cleveland.
Nice.
I'm jealous.
It's very cool.
Well, once again, here we are, folks. It's been an absolute pleasure. Lee, thank you so much for entrusting us to keep things going while you're off doing your important work. I know that it is reaping so many, I don't want to call them rewards, but it's going to help uh, enlighten a lot of people about some things. And, we appreciate the space that you give us to come together to do this and talk over these important issues, as well as these important cases, because I do believe that they are, intertwined. And thank you to each one of our communities. You truly are the reason that we do this. We do this to seek the truth. This isn't something that for any of our three channels that we're out here getting rich. It's not something we're doing for attention. We are trying to do our part to bring the truth to light and to help make things better for people. So thanks to each and every one of you who tunes into the lives. Thank you to each and every one of you who watches on the replay crew. Thank you for your comments, your questions, your financial gifts, when you share things, our channels with other people. We appreciate all of it more than we could ever tell you. And we just hope you have a wonderful night, and we will be back again tomorrow night as normal, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And Lee, are we potentially going to have you with us again tomorrow night?
Potentially, yeah, potentially.
Okay.
It's always hit or miss. I'll be in a different location tomorrow night, and I won't know what the internet connection is until I get there. So,
Right.
but yeah, potentially, I will definitely make the effort to be there if I've got. And I think out of all the places I've been, this has been the worst internet connection. So chances are good I'll have something decent.
Okay. I have a bad cat over here who's after everything. Sorry, guys. All right. Well, anyway, okay. Have a good night,
And
everyone. Take
real
care.
quick,
Oh,
Lee, make sure you charge your phone. Charge your phone.
where's that phone?
It's at 19% right now. I'm holding on by a thin thread.
Yes,
So
I know.
Oh boy. He's
Stay
watching you.
safe out there, sir.
That's so funny. Be safe, everyone.
thanks, everybody.
Have a good
Have a
night.
Good
great
luck.
night, everybody.
Good luck, TA. Good night, everybody.
Thanks. All right. Bye bye.